In a secluded corner of the world, nestled deep within an ancient forest, lay a village that time had almost forgotten. The air was thick with the scent of pine and earth, and the gentle rustle of leaves provided a constant symphony of nature. This village, with its humble cottages and winding paths, was home to many. But one man stood apart from the rest. His name was Kavi, a figure often seen wandering through the trees, his hands stained with soil and his heart seemingly untouched by the chaos of the world around him. For 10 years, Kavi had embraced silence as his companion. The villagers called him the Silent Fool, a name born of their mockery and misunderstanding. They would whisper behind his back, their laughter echoing through the streets as they observed his solitary figure planting trees, tending to the earth, and helping others without uttering a single word. Kavi's gentle smile was a mystery to them, a quiet enigma that neither their scorn nor their curiosity could unravel. Though they derided him, he remained steadfast, his spirit unbroken by their jeers. Kavi's days were filled with purpose. He nurtured saplings into sturdy trees, creating a small forest of his own just beyond the village. He would help the elderly carry their burden, mend fences, and gather herbs for the sick, all while remaining a silent guardian of the village. His actions spoke volumes, yet the villagers were too wrapped in their own noise to notice the depth of his character. One fateful day, the village faced a challenge that would shake its foundations. The king, seeking to extend his reach and connect the isolated village to the bustling city, ordered the construction of a bridge. The villagers, excited yet anxious, gathered to discuss the task at hand. But as discussions began, the atmosphere shifted from hopeful collaboration to heated arguments. Elders clashed with the youth, each group convinced of their own superiority, each voice rising above the others in a cacophony of conflict. As the days passed, chaos reigned. Plans were hastily drawn, materials were mismanaged, and in their rush, the villagers overlooked crucial details. It wasn't long before the bridge began to take shape, but the foundations were weak, and the disagreements continued to fester. Then, in a moment of disaster, a section of the bridge collapsed, sending debris crashing down and injuring several villagers. Fear gripped the hearts of the community. Blame was cast like arrows, and no one was willing to shoulder the responsibility for the calamity. Amidst the rising voices and swirling tempers, Kavi, who had remained a silent observer, felt an unfamiliar stirring within him. The chaos around him was palpable, and for the first time in years, he sensed the urgency of the moment. With a quiet resolve, he stepped forward, his presence commanding attention despite his usual reticence. The villagers, shocked by his sudden movement, turned to face him, their arguments momentarily forgotten. Kavi took a deep breath, feeling the weight of their gazes upon him. Then, in a voice that was steady yet soft, he spoke a single powerful sentence. If 10 voices shout, none are heard. But one voice in silence can guide them all. The simplicity of his words hung in the air, and an unexpected hush fell over the crowd. They were captivated, drawn into the calm that Kavi exuded. As he knelt down to the ground, drawing a simple plan in the dirt with a stick, the villagers gathered closer, their anger and fear replaced by curiosity. Kavi's diagram was straightforward, outlining a path that was both secure and efficient. He explained his vision with clarity, each word measured and deliberate, allowing the villagers to see the logic behind his thoughts. It was as if the noise of their previous arguments had faded away, replaced by the clarity of Kavi's silent wisdom. Under Kavi's guidance, the villagers began to work together, shedding their differences and focusing on the task at hand. They followed his lead, each person contributing their strengths to the project. The bridge, once a source of discord, transformed into a symbol of unity. As the structure rose, so did their spirits. They learned to listen, to collaborate, and to trust one another, guided by the silent man who had always been among them. When the bridge was finally completed, it stood tall and strong, a testament to their collective effort and Kavi's quiet leadership. The villagers marveled at what they had accomplished together, and as they stood on the bridge, looking out towards the city, a newfound sense of harmony enveloped the village. They had come to understand that Kavi, whom they had once dismissed as a fool, was in fact the wisest among them. In the days that followed, the villagers reflected on their journey. One elder, who had been particularly vocal during the conflicts, approached Kavi with a newfound respect. "Why did you stay silent all these years?" he asked, his voice tinged with humility. Kavi smiled softly, the corners of his eyes crinkling with warmth. "Because not every noise deserves an answer," he replied, his words resonating with the elder. In that moment, the villagers realized that Kavi's silence had been a choice, a deliberate act of wisdom that allowed him to observe and understand the world around him without being swept away by the clamor of opinions and judgments. From that day forward, Kavi was no longer known as the silent fool. Instead, he earned a reputation as the wisest man in the village, admired not for the volume of his speech, but for the timing and depth of his oaths. The villagers learned to appreciate the power of silence, understanding that sometimes the loudest voices drown out the most important messages. Kavi became a living reminder that wisdom often lies in quiet contemplation, waiting patiently for the right moment to emerge and guide those willing to listen.